Hello, welcome along. First thing I want to say is I am using a brand new iPhone. So the quality of this video should be all the better, all the sharper from here on in. You'll be able to see what I really look like. Probably better if I went back to the other one, isn't it? So I'm on a brand new iPhone 15, which has got a lot more videoing capability, and I'm delighted to use that to the maximum. What I want to talk about today is I've reached a sort of a milestone of sorts, and it just reminds me to do a little update on a subject that I've covered before, which is about, how much you can earn from your Spotify income, from your Spotify streams. The reason I'm back on this subject again is I think I was quite excited when, after about 5 years of music making and posting things on Spotify, I reached the landmark of 1 million streams altogether. Obviously, not just for one track, but everything, not just for 1 year either. Let's be honest, it was over, a good period of time. And I was wondering then if I could, well, first of all, I was wondering if I could earn a living, and the answer was that was very clearly no. I was a long, long way off earning enough to put me on a minimum wage in any country. So then I was quite interested to see if over the next period of time I could accelerate, through better marketing and possibly even better songs, my Spotify sales, my streams. And it's just interesting, the other day I was looking at some stats on DistroKid, which is the distributor I use, and found that for the last 12 months, I think the figure was something like 960,000 streams. And then gradually, I checked in on it a few more times because I'd not really looked at this stat before. And it's a rolling stat, which means that, you're adding some on for now, but you're taking some off for a year ago. So it's exactly a 365-day period, and it's a rolling period. So it goes down as well as up. It's not just accumulating. And then a couple of days ago, earlier on this week, it topped 1 million. And in fact, at this very moment now, as I speak to you today, it is 999,000 streams since this day last year. So I think it's definitely true to say that streaming has increased significantly. So I'm back again to work out whether I could now, retire to my yacht on my luxury savings, or whether maybe I need to kind of keep going a bit. You know the answer to this. It is the latter, of course. Right, few things to just get in perspective. That million that the DistroKid added up was actually me and all the other things that I've contributed to that I'm sort of managing, so to speak. So basically, it's me plus, I think, half of Goldhawk Foxes and half of Rothman and Jacobs, because I am half of both those enterprises. So it's not just the Simon Jacobs streams, it's all of it together. But listen, hey, it's still 1 million, isn't it? It's nothing to sneeze at. So then I was back onto Dr. Google trying to find out how much I should be earning, in a perfect world, from 1 million streams. And this is where it all gets a bit complicated, because there isn't just an answer to that question. It depends on lots of variables. It depends on which country somebody is listening. So you get more basically more income for some countries than others. So basically, different streaming countries are placed in a hierarchy with what you might call, tired old term, first world countries paying you the most and others paying you the least. That seems quite weird to me right from the very beginning, right from the get-go. That's quite odd, but hey ho. So that's one thing. Then it depends on whether the person streaming your music is a premium subscriber or not. There's another variable. I mean, it's like lots of reasons that Spotify can find to pay you less, basically, isn't it? So that was another interesting variable. And there were several others, and then also then it's about the proportion where you sit amongst all of the other people who've been streamed on that day or that week, etc. So then you get a cut of the total pie, but the total pie is a size that keeps changing, so you can never really put your finger on it. But look, what it comes down to is somewhere around. I found a very good little graphic of this, which I'm going to share with you now, and it's somewhere around £3,400. And then the graphic I found compares what you might earn from Spotify with what you might earn from Apple Music or Deezer or Amazon or Tidal or YouTube, etc. So let's share that. My only problem with this is that I don't think I've ever earned £3,440 from a million streams. So that seems like an overestimation to me. I think I seem to have earned considerably less. Either that or all my streams have come from the country at the bottom. I'm not here to name countries, but the country at the bottom of the list, like, maybe it's just people in Zimbabwe or the Philippines or something. I don't know. And now I've just insulted everybody from Africa and most of Asia, and I apologise for that. But this is a real thing where you do get paid differently from different countries. If all my streams only came from the United States, India's another problem. You see, I don't know why. Why should somebody streaming in India be worth less than somebody streaming in West London? It seems a bit crazy to me, but that is the situation we're dealing with. So I don't think I've ever reached £3,440, and the reason for that, I guess, might well be that my listeners are in the wrong countries. So if you are in the wrong country, would you please move? So what that leaves me to say is, can you live off, even if it was 3,440, can you live off £3,440 in a year? I don't think so. That looks like, well, what's that? About £300 a month. So it's not going to work, is it? We're back to, the 1 tin of baked beans, aren't we? So I've still got a long way to go. I think, yes, my conclusion is the streaming on my music is accelerating, and that's lovely and gratifying, and I have to keep on going, feeding the monster as much as I can. But I'm still a long, long way off. The yacht and the jet and all those other things I don't really need. So I'm going to have to just keep going, and until I'm 103, I think. One thing I also want to return back to is we've talked recently about upping my game and trying to improve the quality and the standard. To try and get to the next level, although we don't quite know what the next level really is or what it looks like. And so it was interesting because this week Johnny popped in, and Johnny is the Rothman of Rothman and Jacob, so he's always a very welcome guest, and we don't see each other that often, so we sat down and chat, and I played him a couple of things I've been working on recently, which is a thing that I tend to do, particularly with Johnny, because he's been part of this for so long. I played him a track that I've just recently finished, and it was interesting because he said, I like that, but you need to, what you want to hear is a bit more of that and a bit less of that. And this is about the construction of the song, about, what I'd made to be the chorus and what was the verse and all that kind of stuff. And as soon as he said it, I thought, God damn, he's right. Which isn't always the case, but it certainly was in this case. And I thought, okay, I'm going to have to do something about it. And so I had to take the song and have a really good look at what are the bits that people might want to hear a bit more of, and what are the bits that people might want to hear a bit less of, and change the structure of the song. Now, that sounds easy, doesn't it? You just take something out and put something else in. But what it actually meant was writing a new verse, writing a new bridge section, doing quite a lot of cutting and changing the order of things. So the new verse wasn't the third verse, it was actually a verse in between, so I had to stick in a new verse where there hadn't been one, take out a chorus, and they're not chorus a chorus anymore. It just becomes like a middle eight section. And it's tricky because actually what you really don't want to do is somehow in the changing of it lose the thing that you liked about it in the first place. And it's very easy to do that. You can change and change and change little things bit by bit until you've changed too much and you can't quite remember what it was that made it, music to your ears in the first place. Look, I think, for all you songwriters out there, getting that thing right, getting the structure right, and then making amendments like that, sometimes making the amendments is harder than writing and producing the song in the first place. You've got something that you're trying not to, ruin, to break, but you're trying to, that you need to try and make it better. Now, look, I think the reason I mention this is I think maybe a year ago, a couple of years ago, anybody, Johnny or anyone who would have come around here and said, look, I like that, but I think you need to put more of that and a bit less of that, I'd have just thought, it's finished, it's done. I can't go back. This time I thought, A, I think that's the right shout, and B, I can and I should do something about it. So this is part of my new drive to try and, make the songs as good as they can be and as good as I can make them. And the song in question will certainly be on an album at some point. I do really like it, and I will, share it with you very, very soon. Now, look, that's where I'm going to leave it today. If you've been enjoying Adventures in Pop, and this is, by the way, episode 134, my name is still Simon Jacobs, then do subscribe and be my friend and follow. And of course, I'll do the same for you. So I wish you a lovely rest of the weekend, and we'll get back together very, very soon. And if you haven't heard the third single from my latest sort of collection of songs, it is called I Breathe With You. It's been out a week, and I really do highly recommend it because, I suppose I made it, really. So if I don't recommend it, frankly, who will? You take care of yourself. We'll do it all again soon. Bye-bye.